What is B.A.S.S? B.A.S.S is a dream thought up by a great American visionary over 50 years ago.
Hello, folks. Welcome to the 1972 Bassmaster Classic.
A dream fueled by a feeling, a connection, a yearning to connect to nature and unite with others the same. A need to share the amazing secrets of our homes on the water with all that would listen.
One thing, I want to thank the Lord for letting me go out and have this privilege.
A home for the sport, for the industry, a home for the dream.
Your dream.
My dream.
All of our dreams.
This all started with one dream. A simple daydream at an insurance salesman's desk exploded into an ever-evolving, ever-growing industry, all fueled by a dream. I don't know when or where it happened for each of you, but at some point, Ray Scott planted his crazy dream in all of us. Maybe you saw it on Bassmaster TV, or read about it in the pages of Bassmaster magazine. Maybe you found it through one of the thousands of incredible Bass Nation clubs across the country and around the world. Maybe it was college bass, casting kids, high school fishing, the opens, Bassmaster.com, or even bass conservation. But at some point, his dream grew into your dream. And 500,000 dreams united
under one shield.
Teaching.
Learning.
Protecting.
Competing.
And dreaming.
Together. But how did we get here? Right here today. Sitting in an arena full of people.
The Super Bowl of bass fishing.
The GEICO
Bassmaster Classic.
Year after year, different names appear. A new dream achieved, a life changed. Sure, there's a lot of other shiny trophies you can win in fishing, but when you win the Classic, you don't just win a trophy, you
Win a title.
You hoist this bad boy, and it actually becomes part of your name. You're no longer Rick, Kevin, Skeet, Bobby, Casey, Ike, Hank, Denny, or Davey. For the rest of your life, people refer to you as a Bassmaster Classic champion. You see, that's what makes this dream so special. It's not just Ray's dream. It's now all of our dreams. 1982. Paul Elias kneels and reels his way to a Bassmaster Classic victory, and a 13-year-old kid in Kalamazoo, Michigan
Starts to dream.
1986. Charlie Reed gets crowned right here in Tennessee, and a 21-year-old Army sergeant from Prosperity, South Carolina
Starts to dream.
1990. Rick Clunn wins number 4, and a little breakdancing kid staring at a TV in Philadelphia
Starts to dream.
Year after year, dreams start in those seats and then are achieved on this stage. So here's my question to you. Who's it gonna be? Not just here today, but next year, the year after that.
5 years from now.
10 years from now.
Who's
It
Going
To
Me.
Bassmaster? Big bass, big stage, big dreams.
Who's next?
Who's next? Who's next?
Who's next?
Is it you?
Maybe it's you.
We are Bassmaster.
Yeah, who's it going to be? That is a really great question on the single most important day in the sport of tournament bass fishing, the GEICO Bassmaster Classic, presented by Dick's Sporting Goods. Welcome to Toyota Bassmaster Studios. I'm Tommy Sanders, here with Mark Zona. We're down to half half our field today, and you think in the upper half of that number, you've got every one of them capable of catching 20 pounds and winning the tournament. Also, every one of those capable of falling off a cliff.
No doubt about it, Tommy. And this is the biggest day for the majority of these anglers' lifetime on the water. And the one thing that you could say about this event right now, the one constant, is how inconsistent this body of water is. That being said, it plays into really the last few years of the Bassmaster Classic. When you think an angler is out of it, you better think again.
Yeah, it plays into the hands of the fans as well. You, me, everyone else who wants a big, big surprise ending, maybe even at the end of it all. We got a start that we know we can look forward to, though. Volunteer landing as we take you out to the takeoff right here. We got the crowds that have been setting records all week long. This is a huge, expansive landing. Every square foot of real estate is occupied by someone here. Every little nook and cranny, place you can stand to get a better view, is occupied. We've got 10 guys staring at the one day that could make or break their career, their biggest opportunity.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Leading them out here on day number 3, the final day, Championship Sunday at the GEICO.
Here we go, man. This is it. We're in contention to win. There goes boat number 1. We're only a pound and a half out. Let's do this.
Big bass, big stage, big dreams. This is it, man. I mean, the biggest event in the world of bass fishing. How are you feeling on this final day?
Man, I feel unbelievable right now. You know, coming out with the lead, small margin, but small lead, but overall, man, this is just one of those things. A lot of emotion here in Knoxville, just an hour and a half away from my house.
Only 3 anglers in the past 10 years that were leading going into that third day have won the Classic. Is there one guy, I didn't mean to put that pressure on you, but is there one guy or a couple of guys that you really have to look for today?
Man, I'm not too worried about them. I got to do my deal overall and just catch as much as I possibly can and let the chips fall where they may. Ultimately, for me, I've won a lot of big events and I've lost a lot of big events. I've been in contention several times. When it's your time, you're going to win. And that's all I'm going to say. So,
good luck, Jacob. Hammer down. It's time.
Thank you so much.
Jacob Wheeler staring right into the face of the biggest opportunity of his bass fishing life. Jacob Wheeler, he's not one of our Tennessee natives, but he has some experience here on this particular body of water. Let's all get a little experience with our Yamaha Unlock the Lake.
Exactly right, Tommy Sanders. The headwaters of the Tennessee River that flow right into Fort Loudon. From there, Fort Loudon, you see going into Tellico Lake, and throughout this tournament, the major player has been Fort Loudon for consistency, except guys like Mark Daniels Jr. You see him heading down lake on Fort Loudon. Well, this is a big day for Mark Daniels, but he only caught 5 keepers on day number 2.
Day 3 Bassmasters Classic. It don't get no better than this to be in this position. I'm really excited. I got my favorite lure in my hand, original Bill Lewis Rabbit Trap. And we're gonna see if we can catch us 5 big ones. Yeah, baby. Hey, baby. That's a little ding right there, baby.
You know what? That's ahead of schedule for Mark Daniels Jr. Day 1, didn't get his first keeper till 10:30, maybe 30 minutes earlier yesterday. So Mark Daniels Jr. is off to a great start on this final day of the Classic. A matter of fact, he has the lead right now. One of the big stories at the top. Another big story at the top is the prohibitive favorite coming in here, Ott Defoe, who opened with 20 pounds on day number 1. Well, he had a tough day on day number 2. Does he still think he can win?
I've had good classics before. I mean, I've had really good ones. You know, to go out the final day, be in the Super 6, have a cameraman. And I know how it can feel to catch a big bag on the last day, but it was never big enough.
There he is. Let's
Stay on there, baby. There's number one. You're right where you're supposed to be. It's a good little chunky one. I don't have to measure him even. Thank you, Lord. Got one in the box on a jerk bait.
Big thing to look at right there, switching to a jerkbait with Ott Defoe. The water's clearing, not as much current, and Ott Defoe knowing those subtle changes from there. Going to go to an angler that went full-blown Daenerys Targaryen, Tommy
What?
Sanders, on day number
What
2.
are you saying?
Exactly right. Jacob Wheeler, who weighed in 5 big smallmouth. And note one thing with your leaders. Jacob Wheeler coming into this final day leading all of our anglers that we're covering today fishing very close to the main lake, not way back in pockets.
That might be a big one. Nope, not a keeper. Gosh, dang it. That's part of the dang deal, though. Caught him. I don't think that one's gonna keep. I'm gonna say 17.5 incher. Maybe.
Buddy, put your head down. And you just fan the tail. What do you think right there?
I like it.
Like it? Just put him in there.
Number one. When you fan that tail, one of the sides, man, they just get a little longer. I thought maybe now. Hopefully we're calling that one today. I ain't gonna worry about that. I just call him.
All right, smallmouth. That's the big part of the Wheeler story. 5 big ones on day number 2, and looks like he's at it again. Yet Mark Daniels on top right now, but that lead on the final day, so important.
We're leading the Bassmaster Classic. You do everything right, and you get them in the boat. I say it's hard, man. It's gonna be a tough one. I gotta just. Sorry, y'all.
Take a moment.
It's taken me a long time to get to the point where that I could fish professionally, and I had a lot of breaks. You know, won a couple tournaments, had a lot of people that believed in me, and told me that, you know, you could always do it. And I think that support, day in and day out, that support is something that, you know, you'd have those people that would be negative and hate on you. You can't do this, you can't do this. And whether I win or whether I lose, it's just so real. You know, at this moment, it's just like, hey, you're leading the Bassmaster Classic. You know, you're leading this event, one more day to go. You know, it's basically all I dreamed of.
The 2019 GEICO Bassmaster Classic, presented by Dick's Sporting Goods, is brought to you by Toyota, Yamaha, Skeeter Boats, Power Pole,
Final day, all-important day of the World Championship of Bass Fishing, the GEICO Bassmaster Classic, presented by Dick's Sporting Goods. We are just getting underway today. And you know the rules of the game here. Of course, we're on the Tennessee River system here in these 2 lakes. Tellico Lake and Loudon is pretty much what's in play. 3 days of fishing. For the full field, only 2 days. We're down to half that size field on the final day. That's the way the payout goes right there. Of course, first place is prohibitively large, but everyone in the field, top to bottom, 1 through 52, collect a paycheck on this week. Took a lot to get here, and one guy in the field already owns one of those classic trophies. He'd be the 2003 champion down in Louisiana, Mike Iaconelli. A big day number 2 for him.
You know, I'm notorious, and I admit it, I'm notorious in my career for overestimating my fish. Today, honestly, I thought I had right around 18 pounds, a shade over 18 pounds, and I had 19 something. So that's a good feeling. You want to be wrong on the good side at the Bassmaster Classic. definitely want to be wrong. So the only chance for me to have a shot to win would be that kind of bag or more. That's a big one. That's a big one. See where he's hooked? See where he's hooked? They don't want it. That's a good indication they don't want it. It's also hooked on the bottom, which means he's coming down on it, which tells me they're a little more suspended. The other thing is, look at the color of that fish. Real white. Yesterday they were a lot darker. So, you know, all these indications are indications that the fish have suspended a little. That's more like it. That's a 2.5. That's definitely in the right direction anyway. I have a bait that runs shallower too. I'm going to tell here in a second. I have a DT3, flat 3. Here's a big one. Oh God. Pound and a half.
Mike Iaconelli. Now, this is a place he's kept on us each of the 3 days so far. This is his largemouth spot, Mark Zona, and he's got to have this place play also a smallmouth spot, so we'll be keeping our eyes on Iaconelli today.
Exactly right, and he assaulted that area yesterday. Just around the corner, Jesse Wiggins from Alabama, another angler just like Mike Iaconelli that said he had a huge practice, slipped a little bit on day number 1, came back on day number 2, but he said the weather is setting up perfect to crush them.
Hey, I hope the big ones bite again tomorrow because I need to get them in the boat because I was around some big ones today and I could have had a monster bag. But anyways, we get to fish tomorrow, so maybe they're still swimming. We'll see y'all tomorrow. It's going to be awesome.
Jesse Wiggins from Smith Lake, Alabama, really accustomed to deep, clear water. And if you look at a lot of our leaders here on the final day, this has been a winding tournament, cranking, winding away. But really, Jesse Wiggins, one of our anglers, a lot further back in the pockets than most of our other leaders.
It feels like a fish. Oh my God, it's a giant. Yes. Bassmaster Classic, baby. How about that for a start? 4-pounder. Yes. Guess what, boys? We ain't 5 pounds behind no more.
Make a move now from Jesse Wiggins. There he is, back to Wheeler.
This is a big thing now, I'll tell you guys right now. I think the bite will be early because there's not a whole lot of wind today. I think that's the reason. Yesterday I went fishing for largemouth first thing and caught 4 of them. And then I went doing this thing and ended up calling them all out with smallmouth. But today I went straight to the goods. So, you know, because I felt like that wind would kept them up there yesterday longer. Which today, you know, maybe it will, maybe they'll still slide up. And maybe they'll still be there, but I have a feeling it'll be a little tougher this afternoon. What's that? Hold up. Heike came in hot. I think that's gonna keep. Right, keeper to me. 14-incher, number 2. Keep him going. Get some Red Bull in there. Sometimes I only use one live well, so I use the other one as a trash can. I'm just keeping it real with y'all. So sometimes I let them fish swim with a Red Bull can, as I figure it might give them wings. Every once in a while I'm a little scared to do that because I might open that thing up and fly right out of there.
I mean, why use them at all, Tommy?
Why use them at all? A Wheeler here, almost 18 pounds yesterday. That keeper we just saw probably wouldn't fit in a cast like this. And boy, a big day yesterday for Chris Zaldane.
It took a while yesterday. I think about 10:30. Every single stop. I mean, I saw it. I know what I'm looking for. and just slow winding the swim bait through there. I feel good about today. We've got less wind today. We don't have that north wind like we did yesterday.
Everybody looking at that lack of wind, as Chris mentioned right there. Of course, it's going to have to be perfect if he wants to equal what he did yesterday. 21-12, the largest limit of the tournament. Well, that's enough to get a guy who's already excited just a little bit more so.
It's for the fans, man. It's for the absolute die-hard big bass fans. I'm just trying to be a great, representative of what grassroots fishing is, and going through the ranks and chasing your dreams, setting goals and crushing goals and getting to the level you want to be and dream to be at. I found my motivation. Some guys are motivated by the pure competition. That's why they're Elite Series anglers. That's why they compete. But I'm doing it for Bass Nation. This is the biggest bass fishing tournament in the world. All I want to do is win. I'm in contention going into day 3. That's all that you can ask for. The Bass slogan, big bass, big stage, big dreams. That is me. That is Chris Zaldain. That was Chris Zaldain when he was 12, 13 years old. And to put it all together on day 3 of the Bassmaster Classic 2019, Knoxville, Tennessee, we're gonna blow the roof off this thing.
GEICO Bassmaster Classic. This is a big, big week, the biggest week in the sport of bass fishing, and a big part of it is what you're looking at right now. The Classic Expo presented by Dick's Sporting Goods, one of the most incredible outdoor shows, a singular sort of thing. There's not one that's even coming close for this category of outdoor shows. And of course, this is the World Championship. It's the final day. Here's Roy Hawk, his first Classic. He just joined the Bassmaster Elite Series a couple of years ago, and having a great class, especially day 1, 17-11.
Really, Roy Hawk said, I have to rotate new water into my game. I'm bouncing around with Kevin Van Dam, guys like Jacob Wheeler, and so far this tournament, he has been flawless.
Here we go. Yes. Number 1, decent little keeper. Pepper Jigs Hawk Secret, baby. First spinnerbait fish I caught this week that I kept, Awesome, thank you, Lord.
Boy, Roy Hawk just takes so much joy in what he does for a living, and he's done it successfully. He's won everything out west. I mean, absolutely everything. Multiple times. He almost won a tournament his first time out with the Bassmaster Elite Series down in Alabama, his first event as a rookie. And Roy Hawk is enjoying his first Classic, let's put it that way.
Exactly right, but the big morning so far has been with Jesse Wiggins, and we said you better watch out for guys that aren't at the top of the leaderboard. Your Jacob Wheelers, your Mike Iaconellis, guys like Ott Defoe. Quietly, Jesse Wiggins has got himself back into this event. And here's what's really interesting about this final morning. It is totally different conditions. The water is clearing, not as much wind, not as much current. A lot of those anglers that were out on the main river, like Ott Defoe, Jacob Wheeler, Roy Hawk, a lot slower morning so far. And, well, Jesse Wiggins getting a little bit further back into these pockets. Exactly where these bass are going, well, he has definitely collided so far. Not a problem catching a limit and a few big bites. Jesse Wiggins could be looking at the Bassmaster Classic trophy.
Golly day. If that's a bass, it's another big one. It is. It's another big one too. Don't come off, baby. When it's going your way, baby. And it is going my way right now. Son of a gun ate it off the top of the water while it was sitting up there when I was backlashed. Oh my God. Woo! Whew. 3.5, 3.25. Oh my gosh. They're on those little flat points. See, look at my depth finder right there. See that little flat knob? That Lowrance C-map showed me that little flat stick out. And he's just sitting there. the same one that other big one was on.
Well, when things are going right, they are going right, and that is going to be the Skeeter Boats Taste the Bait. And that is just something you generally don't see this time of year with the water being cold, is a fish biting a crankbait basically off of the top when you're picking a backlash out. But really, it could be the Skeeter Boats Taste the Spot. Little shallow notch points, that has been key for Jesse Wiegand.
Let's get over to Ott Defoe. He lost his wind direction that was favorable to him yesterday. Today, there's no wind at all. So Ott Defoe having to call upon all his experience, everything he knows about every corner of this fishery in order to get things done and maybe get that classic win.
I'm really kind of throwing, if I had any sort of a pattern, I'm not going to forget about it, but for the most part, I'm throwing it out of the window today. I have very, very, very little confidence in the lipless bait right now, just given the conditions, given that it's this dead slick calm. That's why I've switched more to the jerk bait than anything this morning. Is just strictly condition related. So that's why I'm doing that. But as far as the kind of places I'm fishing, they're still similar. Those first couple I caught were probably a little bit deeper than what I'd been fishing. They were probably 6 or 7 foot where they bit at, but it's not like they're big ones. They're just, just keepers.
Well, you could see that this is a different Fort Loudon here on day number 3 for the first time in this event. Ott Defoe kind of leaving that main drag, that main Fort Loudon Lake, and going to a boat dock area that we have not seen him hit this entire event. And it could have been that he got a little bit of word from another competitor. Just got to find out if it pays off.
Stay on it, baby. Thank you, Keith Poche. He told me yesterday before the weigh-in about this spot. You gotta give credit where credit's due. I thought I done had old Joe Mama. Keith, I hope you're watching. Hope you saw that.
Well, just in case you didn't know, it's perfectly legal and completely normal for these competitors within the same event to share experiences and maybe give some advice to another angler on where he might pick up a fish or two.
Stay on there. Yes! Thank you, Jesus! Keith, I'm gonna kiss you when I see you, is what I'm gonna do. Well, maybe not really, but dude, that's a good one right there. Everything happens for a reason, man.
One of the biggest moves we've seen Ott Defoe make in this tournament. Slow day number 2, but things turning around.
For all kinds of reasons, this is going to be the greatest opportunity to win a classic in Ott Defoe's life, and that's a big step.
I've had good classics before. I mean, I've had really good ones, to go out the final day, be in the Super 6. And I know how it can feel to catch a big bag on the last day, but it was never big enough, not the ones that I caught. That makes me want to make this one mine even that much more, and I'm as determined for tomorrow as I think I've ever been for something. It's going to take a good bag, but it's certainly within reach, and that's all I can ask for. That'd be pretty special.
It is the World Championship of the sport of bass fishing. Only 3 days of fishing, and it goes by so fast. We are well into the final day for these 25 anglers left in the GEICO Bassmaster Classic presented by Dick's Sporting Goods. Look at this place, Knoxville, Tennessee. What an incredible host city this has turned out to be. Just a great sports town, and they turn out for bass fishing, that is for sure. And talking about turning out for a season, this guy certainly did it in 2018 on the Bassmaster Elite Series. He is our Toyota Bassmaster Angler of the Year. Justin Lucas Great day one, some struggle on day two for him.
And we're down to 1 hook. All right. Finally. Freaking hey.
Clutch fish right there for Justin Lucas. Interestingly enough, he was called the Vacuum back in Little League playing shortstop, and that's exactly what he was in the 2018 season on the Bassmaster Elite Series. Potentially, it's fair to say, more consistent than any angler we've covered the last half dozen years.
That is true. That is quite true. All credit to him for winning that award. That race going on this year for sure, 2019. There's your Toyota Bassmaster Angler of the Year standings. Canadian Chris Johnston, 2 great tournaments to start out his year. Scott Canterbury of Alabama, Lee Livesey, and also Patrick Walters, both of those anglers striking a big lick at our first stop of the year on the St. Johns River. Drew Cook of Florida. On down the list. That competition is ongoing and will be hard fought until the end of the season. There's a guy who owns a Toyota Bassmaster Angler of the Year trophy, Mike Iaconelli.
Michael Iaconelli with a fast morning, but the one thing missing that he had on day number 2, the quality has left.
Yeah. Maybe that's a better one. There's a good one. There's a big one. There's a big one. There's a big one. Oh God. Oh God. A 4-pounder. DT6 in his face. DT6 in his face. In his face. That's a heck of a number 5. Gerber pliers. Shout out to Gerber for making the best pliers in the game. There's the first 4-pounder today, and now we need 4 more like that one.
One right there. I don't understand the spitting gig. I don't.
It's been around a while.
Well, I know. Here's the thing. I don't understand it, though.
I couldn't explain it. Maybe he's the reverse vacuum cleaner. I don't know.
Gosh. Back around the corner to your unofficial leader, Ott Defoe, who quietly has risen atop the leaderboard.
Number 5. Little stubby one, 2 1/4. I really try not to think about the final stages of the Classic too much. I want to focus on, the fishing part. Then the good part of that will take care of itself in the end. So for me, it's just about staying focused on my task, which is going out there and catching 5 big ones every day. I mean, these fish live here, and not that they don't on those points and stuff, but the only thing with that out there is it's getting some sun, and that could be, and even that fish I caught up there was like the last slip that was in the sun. But I heard fish busting into here, so.
Being a river system, you knew this was going to be a tournament of change, and this body of water has changed literally every hour of this event, and Ott Defoe so far has definitely changed with it. And fair to say, making that boat dock right there probably the most famous boat dock on the Tennessee River.
Right, absolutely. For Classic purposes, that is for sure. We're going to move now from Ott Defoe. Going to go over to the man who took over the lead briefly this morning. Much faster start to his day for Mark Daniels Jr., who had a great day yesterday, but it's been a little slow going as we get further on up into the final day.
Couple throws on this point, we'll make a short move.
Hey, that's a bass for sure.
keeper too. There we go. Dude, talking about eating that thing. Making a little adjustment. Let it run down here, push things up a little bit, set the trap down. Picked up a little flat side crankbait just to kind of mix things up, and caught us one pretty quick. We're gonna see if we can ride this little wave here for a minute.
As you said, Tommy Sanders, much faster day today for Mark Daniels Jr. And fair to say, he is the real deal.
No doubt about it. Started the day, though, in second place, just ounces behind. Everyone else has sort of gained ground on Mark Daniels, hanging in the top 5, though.
I've dreamed about it. You know, I've thought about it. I used to make my mom wake me up at 5 in the morning on Saturday so I can watch Bassmaster. And now I'm here competing against some of those guys still that I was watching then, and thinking about where I'm sitting right now. This is a lifelong dream and a lifelong accomplishment of hard work to get here. Man, I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna give it my all, man. That's it.
Championship Sunday, not just any Championship Sunday, but the big one. Final day of the GEICO Bassmaster Classic. It's also St. Patrick's Day, and look at the St. Patrick's Day parade here in Knoxville. The Grand Marshal, many-time Classic competitor, Roland Martin.
St. Patrick's Day parade, boy, this is gonna be something. And they had me as a Grand Marshal. Wow, I don't know what I'm doing as a Grand Marshal. I'm Swedish. In the world of bass fishing, you know, you're talking about the Super Bowl of bass fishing, when you talk about the Bassmaster Classic. We have one of the Bassmaster Classic winners right here in Larry Nixon. We call him the General. It's really important. It changed your life, didn't it, Larry?
Yes, it did.
Winning the Classic.
When you win one of these, you win the ultimate in bass fishing, and that's what every fisherman dreams of. And, I won it in 1983.
All right, watch the scale now. 2 pounds and 2 to win. 2 pounds, 11 ounces, and that's our win.
Probably the most incredible moment in my life.
Well, I never did win. I came in as high as second place, but I always wanted to win the Bassmaster Classic. Everybody wants to win the Bassmaster Classic. I love leprechauns.
Oh,
right
boy.
there, Roland Martin, Larry Nixon.
Even the Swedish ones, yes.
Why don't we get back out on the water right now with Chris Zaldain, taking a look at he's been in the bottom end of Fort Loudon and the bottom end of Tellico, and here's why he caught him on day number 2 is what Chris Zaldain said. Wind, current, and sun. So far today, sun is all he has, and so far today, it has not been enough.
I'm 34 years old now, and ever since I was in junior high school, 13, 14 years old, I wanted to be a professional bass fisherman, and I took the appropriate steps to get there. I fished the club level, the Bassmaster Opens as an amateur. I fished as an AM, won a boat, and finally in 2012 I made the Bassmaster Elite Series, and this is 8 years in the making. Oh, one little one. I'm just trying to be a great, representative of what grassroots fishing is, getting to the level you want to be and dream to be at. And, I'm a representative of that, maybe, sure, but I'm just focused on winning this tournament. That's the goal I set. That's my personal goal. I set out to win the Bassmaster Classic.
Oh, such a big day for Chris Zaldain, but the conditions just absolutely will not let him get close to doing what he did on day number 2. Let's get back out to Jesse Wiggins. Earlier, we watched Jesse go on a good little run there, getting from 9th place up into the top 3.
And interestingly enough, if you looked at a lot of these guys' practice session when it was much, much colder, cloudier, high, heavy winds, these guys crushed them, and these fish were a lot more active. The more the water has warmed up, the more a lot of these fish have scattered. But Jesse Wiggins, in an area where it looks like a lot of these bigger largemouth are coming to him, and really, Jesse Wiggins is only one big bite from locking in his first Bassmaster Classic trophy.
Oh, that's a monster, boys. That's the one I gotta have. That is a giant. That is a giant. He's got it choked too. You think they're eating it? I'd say 4-pounder. Put him out there by himself. God, I thought he was gonna be bigger than that. Boys, you talking about biting a crankbait, son. When they bite it on this lake, whew, Lord have mercy. They don't play around. Oh, that's 3 big ones. God, 2 5-pounders. I'm gonna win the Bassmaster Classic. It's good news when you're already calling this size of fish, boys. I'll go ahead and tell you, it is good news.
Good news for Jesse Wiggins indeed, and if you really look at him, if he did not slip on day number 1, he would be blowing this Classic away.
Definitely got it going in the right direction. His timing is pretty good. Maybe not enough time left. That's his only worry right now. Could be a worry for the guy who started the day with the lead, too, Jacob Wheeler, all the way down to 5th place by now.
Mercer, tell all your buddies to get out of my way. The Canadian geese right there, they're messing up my fishing hole. That's right, eh? Canadians, man. Come on, guys. I'm not trying to mess y'all up. Just slide up out the way.
Jacob Wheeler said he needs to still be the hunter, even though he was coming into this day leading this tournament. Well, he has slayed 2 dragons days 1 and 2. So far, day 3 has haunted young Jacob Wheeler.
Woo, yes! Yes, sir! That's the one we were at. He bit my bait. I came back and got doinked you. I doinked you. Oh, you're trying to get me too? Okay. Settle down. Settle down. All right, I'll get you one done. I had that sucker bite me right next to the boat, and I said, forget it. I caught one there yesterday on that exact same cast, and I had it doink, bite me, and I throw back in there, stop it, fish gets it. Yeah. That's the kind you need, baby.
If it was a smallmouth only tournament, fair to say Jacob Wheeler is dominating this thing.
He had predicted he would win it. If he wins it, he's going to win it with smallmouth. Now, talking about largemouth, Mike Iaconelli's still in his largemouth place. He's got to get enough weight here before he can go chasing smallmouth.
No, really, Iaconelli said he thought he was going to have to weigh in at least 1 or 2 giant smallmouth a day to win this tournament. Iaconelli still living with his largemouth area and still biting.
That's a big one. That's a big one. No, it ain't either. Good one now. Might help a little. Yeah, he's. That's a good one. That's gonna get rid of that other one. Yeah, it's a 2-pounder. Not even. I don't think I have to even look at it. They're all 2 pounds.
That is a big fish right there for Mike Iaconelli on all levels. Big in the scope of the competition that's going on right now. Look at that, close behind Ott Defo. Mike Iaconelli, if you doubt for a second he doesn't want to join that very elite group of anglers who've won 2 of these trophies, you'd be wrong.
From an emotional standpoint, there's way more tied to this classic. this potentially could be my last Classic. I hope it's not, but it potentially could be. And it would mean a lot. It means a lot to be able to be one of the guys to win multiple Classics. There's only been a handful. The two things I've wanted since I was a literally little kid, 10, 12, 11, 12 years old, was I looked at these things called the Classic, and I looked at the AOY, and I said, man, if I can fish professionally, these are the two titles I have to have. I have them. I can rest with that. I'm happy with that. But man, I'm a competitor. As long as I'm in this sport, as long as I'm competing, I'm not happy with second or third or fifth. I want to win. I want another trophy. And I'm going to work hard, literally to the last cast tomorrow, to make that happen.
Sweet rip right there from Tony Costello, Tommy Sanders. And I'll tell you what, everybody after that trophy, and this guy right here in the driver's seat with only a couple hours left of fishing. This guy right here, Ott Defo, trying to close the door.
I do think, you know, a big day could elevate my career to, you know, places I never imagined.
Stay on there, baby. Yes! Yes! Look at that fat chub. It's got to be a 4-pounder as well. Yeah. This is going to be a pretty good cull right here. Just over 4. Just over 4. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Jesus. I think I'm gonna fish this marina a while.
Granted, he got a great tip on a place to go and visit here still. I've seen this place before. He knows how to catch them there. That counts for a lot, too. Hats off to Ott Defo for this big turnaround today. Here's a guy in need of a turnaround, Jacob Wheeler.
Oh, I thought it was a big one there because it's so black. Okay, I ain't trying to. Kirby, are you Kirby? It says Kirby's Landing. I assume you might be Kirby. I don't know. You seem like you think you own the place. Is it okay? He got all excited with that dang smallmouth. Got it. So I thought it was a dang keeper. When it came right next to the boat. Largemouth. Boom. There we go, baby. Yeah. You got us a little largemouth.
Boy, Kirby right there full of fire here on this final day. And Jacob Wheeler with a solid largemouth scratching and clawing to stay in this thing. Somebody else with a good history of dogs.
Yeah,
right
the
here,
Classic, they won't shut up.
Mike Iaconelli.
Mike Iaconelli, a former Classic champ. He had gotten really close to our leader, but odds pulled away from him a bit now.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the one. Oh, God! Stay on there. Golly. Would have helped a little.
That hurts me. Hurts my feelings, hon.
Every cast. I'm getting a bite every cast. Oh! There you go. Oh God. Oh God, stay on it. Stay on this, the big one. Three-pounder. 3-pounder. DT6 in his face. Might happen right here, folks.
Another good one for Mike Iaconelli right there. And whether he wins or loses this tournament, he has mined that one spot the last 2 days for everything it's worth.
The only guy we could say has truly been on a pile of them during the course of this Classic. Let's go back to Jesse Wiggins now. Had a great start to his day. Kept it going fairly steady all day long, but still needs another 2 good ones.
This is how I caught them yesterday, fishing these laydowns and rocks. But I didn't catch them till later in the day, so I may have came to it too early, I don't know. I didn't get a bunch of bites, but when I got a bite, it was a big one. I mean, I got 5 bites between about 11 and 3, so I mean, that's pretty good. That's 1 bite an hour. And especially if they're big. I feel like I can catch a 5-pounder doing this.
Typical of any springtime event on the Bassmaster Elite Series, and especially at this Bassmaster Classic, really the last 3 hours of fishing, right when that water heats up the most, is when we've seen some of the biggest ones of this event.
There he is. That'll help.
One that Jesse Wiggins needs for sure as we take a look at the story thus far. Odifo, first day leader, started down a bit today, brought it back up, and now Wiggins, Iaconelli, and Wheeler are the 3 who are trying to run him down as time continues to run out on the last day of the GEICO Bassmaster Classic.
The 2019 GEICO Bassmaster Classic, presented by Dick's Sporting Goods, is brought to you by Humminbird, Minn Kota, Talon, Mercury.
Oh, friends, we cannot give enough kudos to our hosts here, our host city of Knoxville, Tennessee, here on the banks of the Tennessee River. GEICO Bassmaster Classic presented by Dick's Sporting Goods. That's the Sun Sphere, which was erected for the World's Fair a few years back. And of course, the Classic Expo presented by Dick's Sporting Goods. One of a kind, one of the most sought after outdoor shows you will ever see. And speaking of Dick's, they sponsor the Bassmaster Rookie of the Year points race. And on top of that race right there is Lee Livesey of Texas, Patrick Walters, South Carolina, Drew Cook from Florida, Brad Watley of Texas, and Greg DePalma from New Jersey. Now, if you watched our coverage at the St. John's, you know Lee Livesey.
There he is. That's a better one.
Yes! Yes!
Lee Livesey may be a rookie, but he has a great understanding of what makes a magic moment an unforgettable moment for bass fishing fans everywhere. That was a great tournament. That was the start of the year for the Bassmaster Elite Series down at the St. John's. Just a slugfest supreme. We'll never forget that entire tournament. We're in the middle of a very important one, the most important one of the year right now, the GEICO Bassmaster Classic, and wow, we've had a turning point for sure.
No doubt about it. Fair to say the turning point on this final day is seeing Ott Defoe basically scrapping what got him here. We have seen him live on the main lakes on days 1, slipping a little bit, fishing that same way on day 2, but going to this marina dock, going to this set of boat docks, proving right now could be the call of the event.
Thank you, Keith Poche. Gotta give credit where credit's due. I thought I done had old Joe Mama. Keith, I hope you're watching. Hope you saw that. Stay on there. Yeah! Thank you, Jesus! Keith, I'm gonna kiss you when I see you, is what I'm gonna do.
Yes, it is a good one right there for Ott Defoe, and he's been pretty much flawless all day, and that's going to be the Mercury move of the tournament. Ott Defoe leaving all of his main lake points and getting it done in that marina, and he has mined it for pretty much everything it's worth. And Tommy Sanders, fair to say, as much as we want to give that totally to Ott Defoe, going into that marina, getting his job done, putting himself in the lead, somewhere in there, you have to say, one other angler, this guy right here.
Yeah.
How about Jesse Wiggins? A solid final day.
Consolation.
Tommy, I have to say it. He is the unofficial Mercury move of this championship Sunday.
Any one of these, and I probably, if I'd had any of these the first day, oh, it sucks. Uh-oh, boys. I may have him foul hooked. That'll work. It's gotta be a 2.5. They look good, they feel good, but they're not. I ain't helping none. I gotta call by pounds to win this thing. It's bigger for sure.
All right, a little bit gained from that cull right there for Jesse Wiggins. Puts him up just under 43 pounds, but he's got about a 3-pound disadvantage still remaining. Him and Ott Defoe, he's whittling away at it, but with time running out too. Well, it's starting to get pretty tense out there on the water. For Ott Defoe, the clock cannot tick away fast enough as we get closer and closer to the ultimate weigh-in. Final day of the Bassmaster Classic. They are getting ready there in Thompson Bowling Arena for the weigh-in, which is coming up very soon. Introducing the mayor of Knoxville, Madeline Rogero. A lot of dignitaries, including the mayor of Knox County, Glenn Jacobs. You may recognize him, if you're a wrestling fan, as the one and only Kane. How about that?
Good stuff with that Kane gig, but really my true fear came from The Undertaker. Really did. I'm not kidding.
I hear you.
Watching Jacob Wheeler's final day, you know that fear has set in for him, not having a lot of current today. Jacob Wheeler's going to need a big one, Tommy, and he's going to need it now.
Yes.
Ooh. Woo. That one's long enough. I can tell you that right now. Oh, EK, you just see what Jacob did? He's got him a smallmouth. Unbelievable. Can you believe that? Unreal. Hey, up. Keeper. Yeah. Dude, we're gonna win this thing. from that, buddy. Can you believe that? Unreal. Sword strike me again.
Ding, did we have a third person
He
right
went
there?
third person on us just a little bit there. That means things are really starting to tighten up here. And of course, Wheeler getting closer and closer to Adifo as Bear's watching for a little while right now. So we take you from, well, where Wheeler is right there. And most of today, he's been occupying the same area as Mark Daniels Jr. Mark Daniels having a much slower day, though.
Exactly right. Taking a look at Jacob Wheeler, and right across the lake, Mark Daniels. Grebe!
That's not a Grebe.
No, exactly right, Tommy. But Mark Daniels Jr., like Wheeler, a very solid effort on Championship Sunday.
Dude ain't gonna make it, I don't think. Yes, sir, it is. And it's one side of his tail, dude. He's 14 and the other side ain't. How crazy is that?
Keeper number 5 for Mark Daniels Jr. puts him ahead of schedule from day number 2 of this classic. And really, execution has been huge for a lot of our anglers in the top 5. One of those anglers, Adifo.
Yes, Adifo found the conditions turned around, made it much worse for him on day number 2. Could have been even worse today, but he has successfully turned that around.
I've got a solid limit in the boat. Got 2 really nice fish. Bladed jig on this dock has really been what's produced my weight for me today. My 4 best fish have all come off of it, 2 of them being for sure the kind I need to win this tournament. I was walking across the boatyard yesterday to the Porta-John after the end of the day. Keith is over there walking in circles nearly because he's so mad. Because all the fish had lost, just had a tough day. He said, man, I caught some fish down here on this dock. Bladed jig. Down that way, you ought to go by there. They're good fish. God used my full bladder and Keith Poche having a bad tournament to put me here. Who knows where I'd be right now, or what I would have caught. You can't beat divine intervention. That's my dad and brother over there, Thomas. Kind of tore as to whether I want to just run more docks, go back to fishing the stuff I'd been fishing. That's Fort Loudon. Yesterday's history, tomorrow's a mystery. Oh, thank you, Jesus. I knew there'd be one on that pipe eventually.
Yes, buddy. That's what I'm talking about.
You glad you came now, Dad? He's so heavy. 3.5 pounds. Sucker is fat.
It's absolutely phenomenal. The final day of a Bassmaster Classic on your home water, getting it done in front of your father.
Where everything did come together on this final day for Adifo, when it certainly had a chance to not come together for him. Again, hats off to Ott, and he'll be very hard to catch right now, but nobody's going to quit trying right now. Wes Strader started the day in 7th place, hasn't been able to make a lot of headway today.
And really, a lot of the anglers thought that Wesley Strader was the one to really watch coming into this tournament. Adifo said he has a lot more experience here than I do. And really throughout this tournament, if not for day number 1, Wesley Strader slowly has climbed the leaderboard.
Oh, we got it off the stump. Did you see that? Come on, come on. Come on. He got it off the stump. He's still on the stump. Please be on there. Yeah, he's still on there. He's still on there. He's a good one, too.
Come up there and ate it off the stump. I saw him get it off the stump. God, I thought it was a big one at first. You believe in that? He come up and got it off the stump. I didn't believe in that just happened. You know what? I mean, come up and got it off the stump. You believe in that?
One of many East Tennessee angling heroes. That is Wesley Strader right there. And of course, we're coming up on that time where we gather together so many bass fishing heroes, weigh-in time at the Classic.
The importance of that, of a Bassmaster Classic, is it's your stamp on the sport as a whole. I think a lot about winning, but I try to put it in the back burner. I do know where to throw at. I know what to throw at, when to throw it there, but try not to think about it too much. But I do think about it, because it would be awesome.
This is it, final day, championship day of the World Championship of Bass Fishing, the 2019 GEICO Bassmaster Classic presented by Dick's Sporting Goods. This is the 49th edition. We are rapidly running out of time, getting closer and closer to the final reckoning. Weigh-in time there on the water. Let's get you back out on the water right now and take a look at Jesse Wiggins. Started the day in 9th place, has really acquitted himself quite well today. I mean, he got off to a good start. He's been solid ever since, and it looks like he's hooked up again.
That'll work, yes. I'd say almost 2 3/4 to 3 pounds on that one. God, is that the fish I get to cull? Lordy mercy. Lord, that's a good upgrade right there. Bassmaster Classic Day 3, getting culled in 2 3/4, 2.5 pounders.
Yet another upgrade right there for Jesse Wiggins, and this is one of those strange tournaments coming down to the final minutes where really one swing of the bat can get these guys right back in it.
Final minutes also for a former GEICO Bassmaster Classic champion from 2003, Mike Iaconelli. Certainly fished his way into the top 5 yesterday, but hasn't been able to crack the top 2.
There's one. Big one. Big, oh my God, giant. This is the one. Oh my God, oh my God. This could be the winning fish. Yeah! 4-pounder. Let's go. Literally on the last stop of the day. Woo! Let's go. Oh my God.
About 15 years ago, the last stop of the day worked out huge for Mike Iaconelli. Now to another angler trying to get some kind of magic going on his last stop of the day, Jacob Wheeler.
2 more bites, baby. They gotta be big, but 2 more bites. I'm trying to think where I want to run. What I want to run is the key. I feel like I need to run this stretch, and then run this stretch, and then run that one other stretch.
Jacob Wheeler, one of the best bass fishermen in the country right now, made a statement, I have to run new water to win this tournament. Well, he has done definitely that on Championship Sunday, still behind our leader.
This one's gonna come down to the last minute. I'm just telling you, I could just feel in my gut what's going on. This one's gonna come down to the last cast.
Wheeler can only hope for something giant to happen with these last few casts of the day. He's been running hard, trying to squeeze all he can out of the final minutes. Meanwhile, Adifo, a little bit more relaxed, but boy, would he like to catch one more good keeper and lock down that classic trophy.
Come on, baby. Stay on there, baby. Mm-hmm. Yes, thank you, Jesus. Oh, thank you, Lord, right here at the last minute. Number 5. I wasn't sure if I had a bass or a drum. 4-pounder. Ah! Let's do this thing.
Big one there for Odd Defone. A lot of times in Bassmaster Classic competition, a local does not live up to his reputation on said body of water. This week, Odd Defone backed up his reputation.
Well, another great crowd has gathered here. These crowds at Thompson Bowling Arena have been setting records all week long. Let's do it one more time. We are almost there. It's almost weigh-in time. Third day in a row, and look at the size of the crowds that have shown up at one of the largest basketball arenas in the country, Thompson Bowling Arena. Hardly any room to fit any more in yesterday. I don't know if they're all going to get in today, but I tell you what, we're all about to go inside. All of us watching here, because we're going to see how it goes down at the final reckoning.
Ladies and gentlemen, there they are, your 2019 GEICO Bassmaster Classic Super 6.
All right, let's bring in our current leader, ladies and gentlemen, and load our hot seat first. Get loud, ladies and gentlemen, for Jesse Wiggins. Jesse, you've been pacing backstage. Championship Sunday. You get a spot in that seat and anything can happen.
Exactly right. I'm not complaining one bit for my seat right now.
Well, get cozy, because you got 6 of the best to ever play the game rolling through here. Are you guys ready for the first boat to roll through? Let's get him rolling. Fishing his 3rd Bassmaster Classic. He's a 17-time FLW Cup qualifier, 3-time Bassmaster winner. 2 of those wins came last year. Tennessee's very own Wesley Strader. Starting the day with 28 pounds even. He's got 5 fish, all alive, looking for 15-15 to take the lead. 11 pounds, 8 ounces, not gonna take the lead, but he moves into 3rd place. And Tennessee, he does you proud all year long, and he did it again here this week. Let me hear it for Wesley Strader. He is the 2003 GEICO Bassmaster Classic champion, the 2006 Toyota Bassmaster Angler of the Year. From Pittsgrove, New Jersey, go Ike for Mike Iaconelli! Started the day with 28 pounds and 9 ounces. He's looking for 15 pounds, 6 ounces to take the lead. 5 fish, all alive. Needs 15-6. 14 pounds even. 1 pound, 6 ounces short of the overall lead, but Iaconelli moves into 2nd place. He is a 5-time Bassmaster winner. Came into this this event as the odds-on favorite to win it. From Knoxville, Tennessee, up D-Foe! Let's hear it for your hometown hero. £30 and 5 ounces to start the day. He's looking for 13 pounds, 10 ounces, 18, 14 with 49 pounds, 3 ounces. We have a brand new GEICO Daily leader in Knoxville's D-Foe. His fourth Bassmaster Classic. He is a two-time Bassmaster winner. 16 Bassmaster top 10s. Time to get Zal dangerous for Chris Zaldane. Had the biggest bag of the tournament yesterday, 21 pounds. And today, a much tougher day, 30 pounds, 12 ounces. 2 fish to add to that for 3 pounds, 4 ounces, gives you 34 pounds even. You move into 10th place. Let's hear it for him being our Super 6. One of the brightest young stars in this sport. Took an Elite Series win last year on Lake Oahe. Started the day with 31 pounds, 14 ounces. Get loud for MDJ, Mark Daniels Jr. 31 pounds, 14 ounces to start the day. He's got a 5-fish limit. Looking for 17.6, 9 pounds, 14 ounces. He moves into 4th place with 41.12. Give me a little love for MDJ. He is the youngest angler ever to win the Forest Wood Cup. He won the first 2 Bassmaster Elite Series events he fished. Get loud for Jacob Wheeler! Oh, he doesn't need near as much of the other guys. He came as your leader. Let's get on. Let's get our guys side by side. We're going to have an incredible champion no matter who it is, Tennessee. He started the day with 32 pounds, 6 ounces. Looking for 16, 14, 12 pounds, 15 ounces. 12 pounds, 15 ounces. And your Bassmaster Classic champion is D-Foe. A showdown, a throwdown, a big fish mowdown by D-Foe. Come on, Tennessee. Get loud for your hometown hero. Oh, look at this arena. What this arena means to you and this community, and so many dreams have been achieved in this arena. And now the greatest dream of all that you've had your whole life. You are a Bassmaster Classic champion, and you did it right here in Rocky Top.
Man, I don't know. When I went to my first Classic at 9 years old and watched George Cochran win that tournament, I knew right then I wanted to be a bass fisherman. And I wanted to do this right here so bad I couldn't stand it. And when you have a dream like that, and you believe in God, man, He just makes a way for stuff to happen. When it shouldn't happen, He makes a way.
There's a lot of shiny trophies you can win in this sport, but there's one title, and you're gonna carry it for the rest of your life. Are you ready to make this official?
Absolutely.
Tennessee, are you ready to make this official? I'd like to bring out our outgoing Classic champion, back-to-back Bassmaster Classic champion, Jordan Lee, to do the honors. A showdown, a throwdown, a big fish no down for Devo! The 2019 GEICO Bassmaster Classic champion, Devo! Ott talks about it all the time. He doesn't do this by himself. He is one of the most amazing support teams, and I'm going to welcome them to the stage right now. At the beginning of the week, what did you write in front of your daddy's garage?
I wanted him to win because I think he's the best daddy in the world.
That's what it's all about, ladies and gentlemen. His incredible family. One more time, Ott, before you make one of the most iconic rides in fishing. Your 2019 GEICO Bassmaster Classic champion, the pride of Knoxville, Tennessee, Ott Devo!
The hometown favorite makes the crowd go crazy. That's pretty evident right there. He was also the favorite coming in. What a story through 3 days of fishing for Ott Devo, and coming off a day, Mark Zona, that made him mad. Made him mad, but he turned it around on this day. And of course, all the groundwork was laid, maybe even on day number one.
You know, it was scary going into this tournament. I said, Ott, just answer this sentence. You will win this tournament if. And if you look at this one bass that he caught on day number one, he said, I'll win this tournament if I catch a giant. One giant 6 to 7 pound bite, and I stack chips around it. That's exactly what happened. And really the other side of Ott Devo, if you really look at the perspective of sports in general, he's the guy you root for. And to cover him the years that we have covered him, he's a dude that just deserves it.
Absolutely. He has laid all the groundwork, and he did so this week as well. And the only thing that remains, I guess, is to take us through those 3 days with the champ himself. Ott Devo will join us when we come back.
The 2019 GEICO Bassmaster Classic, presented by Dick's Sporting Goods, is brought to you by Nitro Boats, Abu Garcia, Berkeley, Triton Boats,
One of the most amazing things about this classic is the fishing freaks that showed up here in Knoxville, Tennessee.
That's a lot of folks to show up at 5:30 in the morning.
So that really that many people?
And people from all over the place.
Before daylight, I mean, that just shows you this is the Bassmaster Classic.
Look at that crowd. Look at that crowd. We're in contention to win. It is for the fans.
They new all-time attendance record for the Bassmaster Classic this week in Knoxville, Tennessee.
Man, there's just people everywhere.
Ohio, baby! Michigan!
There it is. You got to revel in it. The magic moment when one angler stands on top of the world of fishing. That is the scene. At the weigh-in, GEICO Bassmaster Classic presented by Dick's Sporting Goods and Ott Defo. You know, the hometown favorite, the favorite son of Knoxville, Tennessee, and the pre-tournament favorite. It all came together. Everybody stuck to the script this time around, and it was a great day and one you'll never forget, I'm sure.
Absolutely, Tommy, man. What a day it was. And, you know, watching some of this footage going back is really making it sink in. It really has, you know. But, man, certainly what a day, what kind of emotions, you know, the morning being kind of tough and then midday being pretty good and then closing it off with a really good fish there at the end of the day.
You look back at the last decade of Bassmaster Classics, except for a couple maybe with Kevin Van Dam in 10 and 11, everybody has had to endure one really tough day.
Yeah.
And it's just 3 days of fishing. It's kind of remarkable that that's the way it works, but hey, that's great for the fans. It adds to the drama. You did us all a little favor by slacking off on these boys on second. But I think the best thing we can do right now is have you take us with sort of an abbreviated version of what happened in your eyes each day, starting with day one.
Absolutely. You know, day one went perfect. I mean, looking back at the day as a whole, and I said that, you know, and the deal in the interview afterwards was that it looked really, really good on paper. You know, I mean, having 20 pounds, having a 6-pounder, I had 3 keeper smallmouth that day. It looked really good on paper. What the people didn't see was that the 3 fish that I culled, the very biggest one was a 1.5 pound, 3/4 fish. So I needed all 5 of those quality bites that I got and that I was able to land. Yes! I mean, I started off with a lipless crankbait. That was what produced my fish early and often and all the big ones, you know. Except for the very last fish, I caught it on a Rapala DT4. And the only reason I picked up that DT4 on that particular spot was because there was a lot of real shallow stumps. And I had the fear that I would get that lipless crankbait hung before I was able to generate a bite there. And that DT4 just comes through that cover a little bit better. I knew I tied that little fella on for a reason last night.
Conditions were perfect, wind coming from the south. Just set up all your spots, your kind of unique spots as good as can be. But the part of the Classic that's the hardest to do is staying ahead of all the changes, and we had a complete 180 swap around the conditions. Tell us what you thought when you saw how it was doing on day 2.
On day 2, you know, with that wind switching out of the north, I knew it would be a challenge for me, or at least I felt like it would. And I thought it would be pretty hard on everybody. So I wasn't too concerned with it, and I thought if I could just catch 12, 13, 14 pounds, I would be really happy. And I even told Dave Mercer that on the dock that morning, you know, that I'd be happy with a 13-pound day today. So I went out that morning and pretty early on caught a really nice one, a 3.5, 3 3/4 pound largemouth on the lipless crankbait, on the same shallow bars, 1.5 to 3.5 feet deep kind of stuff that I was fishing. And then I caught another keeper, and then I caught another keeper shortly after that, and then I just died. I'm not sure if I got in a bad rotation. I still don't know what happened, to be quite honest, but it really, really died for me. And I went from about 10 o'clock until after 1 without catching a fish, much less a keeper.
Yeah, so you 14 would have made you were not happy at the end of the day. You had 10 pounds and some change right there. The last day, this is when Ott has to reach down and figure out something.
That's right.
Pretty much the same conditions, still tough, but you've been thinking about it and you got a little help as well.
Yeah, absolutely. That final day, you know, we had no wind. So at least we had some north wind the day before to help the bite a little bit, but that final day having 0 wind whatsoever would be the very toughest day. And, you know, having come back in that second day pretty down, pretty disgusted, walking across the bathroom towards the porta-john just to go, you know, take a bathroom break, run into a fellow angler there, Keith Poche, who had yet to go weigh in, and just like myself. And he had a really tough tournament start to finish, but had generated some bites down there on a marina, and said, man, you know, if you're down that way, maybe you ought to stop by there and try a bladed jig on it. And I was already planning on doing something different and going down to the far end of the lake, kind of working my way back. Fishing similar kind of stuff is what I'd been fishing, but I was open to mixing something different into that.
You weren't too good to take some advice at that point,
right? Absolutely, and pulled up there about 9:30, 10 o'clock in the morning, and was very thankful.
Yeah, it didn't take long to get the fish that made all the difference in the world. A moment you've looked forward to since you were a kid. You made your dad take you to the Classic when you were a little boy.
Yeah, at 9 years old, I went to my first Classic down in Birmingham, Alabama, and watched George Cochran win that event, and went to the next 9 in a row, all the way through 2004, watching Takahiro win over on Lake Wiley, North Carolina. And most of those first ones, the first 6 or 7, up until the Chicago one, I went to the Chicago one, but that was actually the first one we didn't take a boat and follow guys out on the water.
No kidding.
So I mean, all those first several, 4, 5, 6, however many that was, we actually would take a boat and go out on the water as well. So diehard Classic fans, always have been, and then now to have that trophy at home is dream come true.
Speaking of home, all the years I've known you out on the road, you've never been, more times than not, you've been with your family. So this is an occasion for joy times 5, isn't it, really?
Yeah, it really is. You know, having Jenny and our 3 kids up there on the stage, and I'm, you know, I would have loved to have won the other 7 Classics that I fished before this one. But the great part, I mean, the Abby is 11, Parker and Lizzie are 7 now. They'll remember this for the rest of their life. And that's, you know, that's really, really special. I mean, had it been an earlier one when the twins were 2, 3, 4 years old, maybe not so much, but they're old enough now they can remember it.
And we'll all remember it, and you'll remember it too. In the history books forever. Atifo, your GEICO Bassmaster Classic champion. Thank you, Ott. We do appreciate it.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
2019 GEICO Bassmaster Classic champion, the